Hello and welcome to Unseen Humanity. What if I told you that not too long ago people were placed behind fences, not as criminals, but as exhibits? This isn't fiction. This isn't ancient history. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, thousands of indigenous people were displayed across Europe and America in what were called human zoos. Crowds gathered, tickets were sold, and entire cultures were reduced to spectacle. This is one of the darkest chapters in modern history, one that many tried to erase. Today, we uncover the truth. During the colonial era, European powers expanded across Africa, Asia, and the Americas. But conquest wasn't enough. They wanted to display what they had found. World fairs and exhibitions became global attractions. Cities like Paris, London, and Berlin hosted massive events where indigenous people were brought, often without consent. They were made to live in reconstructed villages, performing daily routines while being watched. It was marketed as education, but in reality, it was exploitation. These exhibitions weren't random. They were built on a dangerous idea that some races were more advanced than others. Pseudo-scientific theories labeled indigenous people as primitive. Displays were designed to reinforce this lie. People were forced to act in ways that matched stereotypes, wearing traditional clothing constantly, even in cold climates. The goal was simple: to make visitors feel superior. Behind the scenes, life was harsh. People were taken far from home, forced into unfamiliar environments, and watched constantly. Privacy didn't exist. They had to perform daily life, cooking, crafting, even resting, under the gaze of strangers. Some fell ill due to weather and conditions. Others faced loneliness and complete isolation from their culture. They weren't just exhibits, they were human beings, stripped of dignity. One of the most haunting stories is that of Ota Benga, a man from the Congo. Ota Benga was brought to the United States in the early 1900s. In 1906, he was placed inside the Bronx Zoo, displayed in the monkey house, alongside animals. Visitors came in large numbers, staring, laughing, treating him as less than human. Some newspapers even promoted the exhibit, but not everyone stayed silent. A few voices spoke out, calling it inhumane. Eventually, Ota Benga was released, but freedom didn't mean peace. Struggling to adjust to a world that had dehumanized him, he carried deep trauma. His story remains one of the most painful examples of this history. Not everyone accepted these displays. Journalists, activists, and religious leaders began to question the morality of human zoos. Protests emerged. Articles were written condemning the treatment of indigenous people. Slowly, public opinion began to shift. What was once seen as entertainment started to reveal its cruelty. By the early 20th century, human zoos began to decline. Changing attitudes, global awareness, and growing criticism led to their disappearance. World fairs evolved, but the damage had already been done. Generations were affected, cultures were misrepresented, and countless individuals suffered in silence. Human zoos may no longer exist, but their legacy remains. They remind us how easily people can be dehumanized and when power goes unchecked. They challenge us to question how cultures are represented today, and they force us to confront an uncomfortable truth that this wasn't ancient history, it happened in the modern world, and remembering it is the first step toward ensuring it never happens again. History isn't always comfortable, but it must be told. If this story made you think, share it, because some truths should never be forgotten.